Hello and welcome to Lesson 10 in Getting Started with Unity. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can add audio and text into your simulation so that when you walk into a certain place you'll get either a sound or a text effect popping up on the screen. So imagine if you were looking at a signpost or a letter on the ground, you could actually read what it said, or if you met a character they could speak to you. So let's show you what I mean by all of that. So if we go back to our world that we've been working on, and if you remember there was a signpost over here which had a skull and crossbones on. There it is. And now if I walk up to it, I'll also get an evil laugh, an image, and the words, "Ye be warned." If I step away, it disappears. If I step back in again, we get it again. So I'm going to show you how to add all of those features in using something called triggers. So the plan here is to add a little map. Oh, first off, I've got a hut here that I downloaded from the asset store. There's a whole load of interesting artifacts and assets you can use. It's called the Mega Fantasy Props Pack. So there's things like houses and wells and bits and pieces you can add in. So I'm going to include on this little box here a treasure map. And the idea is that when you walk over to the treasure map, it's going to show on the screen a big version of the map, some words, not quite sure what they'll say yet, and also some sound effects. So it's like a celebration, a cheer sound effect. So easy enough to do the first part of that. I need to get the treasure map in. So this is just following what we did last time. I'm going to go game object rather, up the top here, 3D object, and then I'm going to add a plane in. So choosing to add a plane because it's like a piece of paper. I'm just going to move it to where I want it to be and resize it. That looks to be about the right size. I don't want it to be too small so you'd miss it, and I don't want it to be too big that you don't even need to walk up to it to read it. So put it about nearly there. Always very fiddly. There we go, perfect. And I've already found a treasure map on Google that I liked, so just went to images, found this. It looked like it would do the job nicely. We know how to add those images into folders on our computer. We've done it in previous lesson. So just drag it from there and you can see the map is there. Awesome. But I want to include a trigger now so that when I walk up to it, I get a big version of that picture and maybe some text as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a component down here. So making sure first off I've selected the object, gone to add component, and I want to type in here something called a sphere collider. You could use a box collider or a capsule collider, and they're just different shapes but they do the same job. And it's a bit hard to see, but there is a small sphere encasing that map. If I come down to where it says radius and I just type in a bigger number, it says 5 at the moment, let's say 25, you'll see it's made a much bigger sphere surrounding it, an invisible sphere, but a sphere nonetheless. And if I click in this little box where it says is trigger, what that does is it tells the computer that when I walk into this sphere, it has to do something. It's going to make something else work. Okay, so the things that we want it to do, we have to add in as well. We have to add some more script, add some more components. So click Add Component here at the bottom. And I'm going to type in text box on screen. And there it is. Now, you won't have text box on screen appearing as an optional component unless you add it first off, and I'll have the links to these files on the website. So you'll need to first off to download those files, and then you'll need to copy them into, there we go, copy them into a folder in Unity. But once you've uploaded those, you should see go to Add Component, text box on screen, and it brings up a whole load of options for you to use. So first off, the text that I want to say is this way to your fortune. And the background is basically the picture. What do you want the background of the text to be? So if we don't have anything, let's show you what it looks like. It's just going to have an invisible background, be transparent. Oh, actually, it's not even going to do that because I have first off to make sure that the font size is not 0, because then it won't show it. So if we change the font size to 40, and the name of the font, I've already downloaded one called Old English. And to download fonts, you just go to a website like this one, dafont.com. Click download on the one that you want, and it will give you a file which again you just put into a folder on Unity, and then it will be there for you to use. So I've got this font called Old English. The font size is 40. If I go up to it now, I should see the font appear. There it is, this way to your fortune, which is kind of cool by itself, but we're going to have the map appear as well. Okay, just notice that the map was levitating slightly. Let's put it back on the box. Okay, so the text box appears this way to your fortune. Now all I need to do to actually have a image appearing as well is find wherever it is. Where's the image option? It's under background. Ah, there we go. Under normal, background. Just change that texture 2D. Drag in the picture into that box. And it should, once it's loaded, there you go, it's there now. If I go back to it, not only will we see the words, but we'll also see the map as well. It's a bit hard to read, so I might want to work on the positioning of the text or even the color of the font to actually help that. Now the other thing that I want to do is I want to add an audio in here. So I don't need a separate trigger because I've already got a trigger on this one, but I'm going to add another component, and this time I'm going to need an audio source, which you will have when you look for it on your Unity, because it comes with a package. Now audio clip, just click on the little thing there and make sure that you've uploaded into Unity some audio that you're going to use. I'm going to use this one, the Pleasantly Surprised, that I found on Sound Bible. I need to change this from play on awake so that when I start it, it doesn't play it instantly. If I just show you what I mean, if I leave that clicked and I press play, you'll hear, that was the sound effect, that wasn't me. So press stop, and then if I click it again, so I'm not selected play on awake, and I go back into, it shouldn't play it this time. Awesome. But we want it to play when we go over to the box. So I need to launch that. So I go back into Add Components, and I go Audio Launch. Again, this is one that you will need to download from the website and then put it into a folder on Unity so that it can find it. But Audio Launch is the script that you need, and you just need to go into where it says Launch Audio, and you need to say which audio you want it to load on. That's it. Now the Play It Again button, if I show you what that does, now when I walk up to it, So now you get the sound effect, you get the map, and you get the text. If I walk away and then walk back in, it says it again. Now, I don't actually want to keep saying every time I see the map. So I can actually choose under the audio launch script, I can just click on where it says play it again and go back in, press play. And then this time it should only play it once. So over we go again. So it says it the first time, pull back, go in again. This time it only shows the map, it doesn't have the sound effect as well. Okay. So that's how you add those components in. As I said, I will make these components, these scripts available on the website so you can download and use them. There's some other ones that I'm going to show you next time, which are for moving characters around and how you can get the characters to sort of turn and face you or follow a path. And if you combine that with the audio or the text, then you can begin to do some really interesting and powerful things. That's all for now.